Anti-racism protests are taking another form in Europe right now. Statues and monuments symbolizing Europe's colonial past, like this one in London of 18th century slave trader Robert Milligan, are being torn down or spray painted. London's mayor has ordered a review of monument and street names as well. And as Laura McQuillan joins me, there are growing calls for similar action in Canada, too, Laura.
That's right, and officials here not ruling it out, but they're certainly not scrambling to change anything at this point. And that comes after thousands of people signed petitions, which are ongoing in both Montreal and Toronto, to get some changes made both to statues and to street names. But let's start off in Montreal. That's where this statue of Sir John A. Macdonald, it's been targeted by graffiti and vandalism many times in recent years. A petition calling for that to be removed. He was, of course, one of the architects of the residential school system, and those behind the petition say it's time to get rid of that statue. Now, Montreal's mayor says there are no immediate plans to do so, though she left the door open. Here's what she said.
I don't want to make like a quick decision without looking at all the options. Maybe there's like a plaque that explains who this person was and what are the concerns right now. I do believe in dialogue. At one point, we're like, as a society, enough. That is not the society and the values we believe in.
And you heard the mention there of potentially putting a plaque next to it. Well, that's something that happened at Ryerson University here in Toronto a few years ago because of this statue of Egerton Ryerson, again, one of those who helped shape the policy on residential schools, renewed calls to get rid of that statue despite that plaque that notes his role in cultural genocide in Canada. Now, I've reached out to Ryerson University this morning to see if they have any update on their position on that statue. Still waiting to hear back, but that's not the only issue in Toronto right now. Another centres on a street name, Dundas Street, named after a Scottish politician, Henry Dundas, who helped delay the abolition of slavery in the British Empire. Now, Toronto's mayor appears to be open to the potential of renaming that street. Yesterday, John Tory said he has created a working group which is going to look at the broader issue of renaming streets in the city. And here's what he said on that topic.
Renaming a major street or public space does create many practical challenges, but we should have a process that can examine what are very important and relevant historical questions, along with all of the practical matters involved if such changes were to be made. In light of the context within which this particular street name has arisen, a broader and more in-depth examination and discussion is warranted.
Now, John Tory has asked for a report back on that within 30 days, but he said it could be sometime longer before any final decision is made on renaming that or other streets.
We have put this issue to our viewers, Laura, and always getting a range of opinion this morning. So what are we hearing on the whole push to either get rid of monuments or statues or rename?
As you'd expect, it is pretty divisive. So I'll start you off with Philip Rohde, who has written into us this morning, and he says that we shouldn't remove statues. He emailed us saying we remove statues and forget. He said the last thing we need to do in this time of inclusivity is forget the past. If we were to do that, we will have nothing to fix or to remember to ensure it never ever happens again. But on the other hand, we're hearing views where people do believe that potentially taking down statues is a good idea, like this from Wayne Stacey telling us that statues and monuments are part of history and need to be taken down from public eye and put in a museum. Those offending statues, he means, where they can be displayed and only seen by those who wish to, not stuck in your face every day. So it does remain divisive, and as we're seeing, thousands of people in both Montreal and Toronto are calling for those changes right now. But will they come to fruition? We'll have to wait and see.